George Harrison truly hated him more than anyone, not in the explosive, tabloid-friendly way people often imagine, but in a slow-burning, deeply personal resentment that built over years inside the pressure cooker known as the Beatles. While the band is remembered as a symbol of unity and creative brilliance, the reality behind the scenes was far more complicated. For George Harrison, often referred to as the Quiet Beatle, frustration simmered beneath the surface for much of his career, especially in his relationship with Paul McCartney. From the early days, George was treated as the junior partner, overshadowed by the dominant Lennon-McCartney songwriting partnership that controlled most of the band's direction. As George matured musically and spiritually, his desire for creative respect grew, but so did his resentment. He wrote increasingly sophisticated songs, many of which were either dismissed or given little space on Beatles albums. Paul's perfectionism, control over arrangements, and tendency to direct other members during recording sessions became a major source of tension. George later described feeling talked down to, not collaborated with, especially during the final years of the band. The breaking point was most visible during the Let It Be sessions, where filmed arguments revealed Paul instructing George on how to play his own guitar parts. That moment, now infamous, symbolized years of bottled-up frustration. George's famous response, "I'll play whatever you want me to play, or I won't play at all," was not sarcasm, it was exhaustion. To George, Paul represented everything that made the Beatles feel less like a band and more like a hierarchy. While John Lennon could be cruel and unpredictable, George often felt Paul was consistently dismissive, unintentionally undermining his confidence. After the band broke up, George's feelings didn't simply disappear. His 1970 triple album All Things Must Pass was widely seen as a release of years of suppressed creativity, proving he had far more to offer than he was ever allowed to show within the Beatles. Songs like Wah Wah were interpreted as direct reflections of the emotional strain he experienced, particularly in his relationship with Paul. Interviews later in life revealed that while George eventually reached a level of peace, the resentment had left scars. He admitted that being in the Beatles was often emotionally draining, and that Paul's relentless drive, while admirable, made collaboration difficult. Reunions between the surviving Beatles were frequently awkward, with old dynamics resurfacing almost instantly. Even in moments of reconciliation, there was an unspoken distance. George valued spirituality, inner growth, and freedom, while Paul remained deeply focused on structure, legacy, and musical precision. These opposing worldviews clashed repeatedly. Although George never publicly used the word hate in a sensational way, his words and music revealed a profound emotional conflict. He felt unheard, undervalued, and constrained during what should have been the most creative period of his life. The tragedy of George Harrison's resentment is not that it existed, but that it was born from a group that the world believed was inseparable. His quiet anger reminds us that even legendary partnerships can hide deep wounds. George didn't hate out of cruelty, he hated out of years of feeling invisible. And while time softened the edges, the emotional truth remained. Among all the conflicts in his life, none cut deeper than the one within the band that made him famous.